Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome back to your place of chill, the Coffee Company. It's a very lovely warm day today. I'm slightly sweating because I've been in front of a hot coffee roaster all day and a coffee machine, and now the sun's come out. So happy days, happy Monday. Hopefully you are all doing well. Before we get going with the festivities, of course, we cannot evade the question of yesterday's wonderful performance by the Lionesses. So a massive big up to all the ladies involved in that fantastic victory yesterday. Big them all up. Big up England ladies, bringing home the Euros. Absolutely wonderful occasion. Brilliant watch, and a massive congratulations. Now, we're just having a chill, basically. I don't know if anyone's turning up. I have no idea if anyone is turning up. But I've sent some links out, and if people arrive, people arrive. So we're just going to chill here. I need to make myself a coffee firstly. No idea if anyone's turning up. But firstly, big up Catman Jess. Catman. Big up Catman. And he's also saying big up the Lionesses. Big up. Wonderful watch. Yeah. It's a new week. One exciting week ahead of us. Football is back on Saturday afternoon. Tottenham Hotspur versus Southampton. It's going to be a wonderful week. Very exciting week. Some very interesting stuff is going to be coming out of this week. So stay tuned for the surprise. Big surprise. It's been spoiled a bit on this channel before, but most of the people, it went up completely over their heads. So we're going to keep it under wraps for a bit longer, and you're going to find out this weekend the surprising and awesome news about things that are going to be happening in this space. But firstly, coffee. Right. Exciting news. Very exciting. But as usual, we're going to be calm, be chill. Lo-fi is on. How you been doing, Catman? How is everyone in the chat doing today? You're in great spirit to start. Yeah, it's just nice. This morning, I just felt good this morning. Back to normal. Full ball. I am watching you make coffee. Good stuff. Big up, full ball. Big up. give me a couple of seconds. I need to listen to this message from Mr. Daigle and see what he needs. Give me a sec. Mr. Daigle is going to be joining us. Mr. Daigle is going to be joining us. Should be fun. Should be fun. Should be fun. What's everyone done this weekend? What did everyone do? What was everyone up to? We had a family gathering yesterday for all that nonsense that happens in my family. But we had a family gathering yesterday, so that was very stressful, very, very stressful indeed. We managed to get a bit of calm, well, basically a bit of calm, as soon as the festivities of what happened yesterday were starting to wind down. Me and my uncle went to the local tap room and we had a bit of calm for an hour, and we let a lot of them, let's just say, more controversial characters of my family fade out the door. But it was there was some strange characters at my house yesterday, and it's not enjoyable, some of them. When you're at home and you're making more coffees than when you're out in your shop, it's a real problem as well. People see a coffee machine and a barista, and then they suddenly think they're in a coffee shop paying, so they absolutely get to tell you what coffee they want, and they won't listen. I'm not here to make money. I'm here for this family gathering. I'm not being paid, and yet you're still telling me what to do. You can shut up. Not acceptable. Order a normal coffee, and I'll make you a normal coffee. It's not helpful. Big up, Brian Dale. Big up. I adopted a few squirrels as pets. I took my nephew to Midway. Great stuff. Great stuff. I think I'm going to meet my friend Mr. Maxey later in town after I finish here at 6. We have to do a lot of cleaning today. We have to do some theft. We need to do a proper cleaning job. We need to start looking at improving. We're going to improve my outside area drastically, and we're going to put some shelves up. We're going to make this place a bit more organised, because it is a bit of a mess. It's better than it was, but it needs to be more organised. I need to do a bit of cleaning. I need to organise Mork and Mindy to clean the windows again. We need to do a lot of things this week. Looking forward to it. But we have to do a bit of cleaning. We need to clean Mr. Reginald's barbecue, because I'm getting shouted at to get rid of it by the boss. The boss is correct, though, unfortunately. Unfortunately, this time he is correct. So we need to organise. Drank a lot of coffee on the weekend, more than usual. Lol. Yeah, big up, big up. It's always good to have some coffee. We need to do some billing today as well. Most importantly, we need to bill one of my clients. They went and got a load of coffee, so we need to do the dirty job of actually making some money. We got a load of coffee. We 6, 12, 16, And we are joined by Mr. Daigle. Aki, how are you this morning,
I
sir?
am very, very, very good. Thank you, Ben. How are you, sir? And everyone in the Kaufman chat, how are we doing?
Everyone is doing well. I'm doing well. Just chilling out. It's a warm, sunny day,
Oh,
and
big time
we,
here
we're
as
gonna
well.
we're gonna relax. It's wonderful. Mr. Agambar is in the house. I'm
Big up.
bed.
You know
Hello.
what? I'm happy there's a certain person in the chat because I have a really weird thing on it, or not weird thing, but I'm very, very happy a certain person that lives in this country of mine, Catman Jess is here, because
Yeah,
Catman Jess, and this goes for anyone who's watching this stream, but Catman Jess will know where I'm going with this more. Today is a bank holiday here in Canada,
yeah,
and I completely forgot that it was a bank holiday because it's one of those bank holidays. I know there's Family Day we have in February, Canada Day, Easter, Thanksgiving, but there are a lot of bank holidays here, and literally. The only way I used to know about them was obviously when I was working. It will come up in my calendar, and we'd have to prepare the staff for who's in, who's out.
yeah.
And I completely forgot that today is a bank holiday. And I don't know if other people are living in different countries and they forget when these countries' bank holidays are because, like, Ilana
Yeah.
was like, "I'm off to." When we were chilling, she goes, "Don't remember, I'm off tomorrow." And I was like, "What are you talking about?" She goes, "It's bank holiday." I was like, "What are you talking about?" Because I know the next one is Labor Day. That's one I know for sure. But I
Yeah.
don't know if it's just me. It's just like you've lived here for almost 5 years and
You
you
still
don't
don't
know
know
when the
the bank
bank. No, but that's
I
because
don't know what bank holidays are either, unless it tells me on the phone. But first,
exactly.
we're going to invite Mr. Coover is in the house. Big up, Coover. How are you doing?
While Mr. Coover's camera still works, because it is on the
Yeah.
way out, I think.
Yeah, I
Um,
saw that yesterday. You were saying on Henry Wright's show you seem to the camera seemed to be giving you a bit of trouble.
wouldn't turn on at all today. I think it's just come to the last of its life. I was speaking to Sean a second ago because he was about something. I mentioned it, and I started calling my camera Lulu. Just because as I was looking at it, trying to fix it, I noticed plastic molding on it almost spells out the word Lulu for some reason. So if they let you know when they want something.
Yeah.
Yeah, but totally irrelevant bit of rubbish I'm talking about. But there we go. That's how interesting my morning's been.
Coffee company, isn't it?
Yeah. So I've got Kiddy's sort of $5.99 webcam on the standby for when this one packs up. So that'll be fun.
Played back to the old
It's going
school.
to be one of those sort of underwater podcasts at that point.
I look forward to seeing it. Are you going to get your snorkel on and your goggles?
I will.
Oh,
Might be.
His first kit, and then you'll be an absolute character. Scuba 99 is officially here.
Yeah,
absolutely.
That's it.
Absolutely. How is everyone anyway?
All
Doing
good.
It's an exciting week, isn't it? Football is back. Tottenham are winning the quadruple.
And
Brian's making full use of that bank holiday.
Oh, yeah. Big time. Mate, do you know what I'm doing? I'll tell you now. So thankfully, at long last, people would have seen when we first started doing all these shows, Brian Ireland used to have a studio. It was a very tight, compact studio, but he did a lot of his stuff there. He does a lot of music. He's an audio engineer. But during the COVID time, the people sold the building. So he had to leave and he put all his stuff in storage. Well, he's finally found a studio. Not only has he found a studio, it's through a friend. He's got 2 studios. One for his music. And next door is going to be Tottenham on Tour HQ, where we've got this whole big studio space. I wouldn't say big. I'd say a fair size, enough that we can put a table in there and like have meetings and do like. So we're going to be getting. There's a massive green screen. We're sorting it out today. We're getting, and when Coover said cameras, it reminded me we're going to be getting cameras so we can do the split shots. So we've got a big day today on this bank holiday. And I said to Brian Ireland didn't even tell me it was a bank holiday because he's so used to it. He's like, we'll do this on Monday. And I was like, yeah. And then when Ilana said, by the way, I'm off Monday, what are we doing? I was like, what do you mean you're off Monday? I was like, uh-oh. But thankfully, my wonderful wife, who is very, very supportive of me, has allowed me to go out and play today.
How things have changed technology-wise in people's homes and places of work. I remember back in the days when Philip Schofield used to present children's BBC from the broom cupboard. Do you remember that, Brian?
Oh, mate, with Ed the Duck and Gordon the Gopher.
Little, yeah, it really was this tiny little room, and he's just got the camera there, and he's presenting BBC One. I mean, it's just like a budget what it was back then, and now everybody's got that kind of technology now. Any streamer's basically doing the same thing.
Yeah.
So yes,
our own studio here. Really, I just don't know how to set up cameras.
Oh, you need to speak to Ireland. Well, when we speak, we'll get Ireland involved.
Next time Ireland comes over to the UK, he can have a.
Well, Ireland and I are trying to sort that.
Yeah.
Will Stewart as well.
Oh yeah, no, Will Stewart. Will Stewart. Them two, I would say, are the biggest go-tos when it comes to studio. What Will has done is incredible. Will's original studio, but his new studio and his new place is incredible. So yeah, but you were saying big week.
Big week is exciting. Just how everything feels really nice. I don't know if it's because of the high point of the weekend with the women's football, but everything just feels really nice today. I don't understand what it is, but
it's August. It's August. August has started.
In the air. It's football season. The quad's on.
That's it. And you got to remember that the football season may start for us Saturday, but on Thursday you've got the first 3 episodes of Arsenal All or Nothing, which is going to be fantastic. I'm staying up to watch that without a question of a doubt. Yeah. I know I can watch it whenever I want, but I want when that goes live at like midnight or whatever, I'm pushing play. Then you've got Arsenal Crystal Palace, and we know they don't do well there. And they kicked off the season last season away to Brentford. We know what happened on a Friday night. And then it's us.
Yeah.
And I just want to say as well,
Bob's first game back at White Hart Lane.
That is worth talking about. I have to say before that, happy birthday to my boy that I wax lyrical about all the time. Happy birthday to the diamond that is Alfie Divine.
Yeah.
Happy birthday.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's his birthday.
He's 12 now, isn't he?
Yeah. He's 12 and he's taking on he's just like I keep saying, a superstar in the making. But yeah, like I said, Bob's first game back, that's brilliant. I'm so happy he's getting to go.
Do you know where he's sitting?
He's sitting with Rez.
Okay, so South Side.
West End.
Oh, West End, okay.
West Lower, and it's worked out well because can you imagine and Bob at the moment obviously doing all those stairs to get up the South Stand to where he probably can, but it will take him a long time when you've got thousands of people.
We'd have to get the lift.
Exactly.
If he sat with me, he would have to get in the lift.
Exactly. So he's in the West Lower with Rez, and Rez has wicked seats. Seats. I sat there for the first half of the Wolves game, which the result was not the best, but the seats were phenomenal. But it's just brilliant that Bob is going to get to go.
Yeah.
It's very, very good.
Being back in the Kaufman perch, as I like to call it, it's going to be very interesting.
I've already given my score prediction.
Oh.
And I'm not changing. 4-0 Tottenham.
I've got us down for a very cagey 1-1 draw.
Well, let's hope I'm right, Cougar.
I certainly do. I just think Southampton are one of those teams that everybody always writes off, and then they've always got a habit of biting you in the arse when you do that. I think seeing that again. We've just seen against Roma what happens when somebody really sits back and defends strongly against us. It's not easy, is it?
But that's not what Southampton did to us last time. They were very aggressive on us, and that's how we failed because we just cannot beat a press.
So I think what they're going to do, Ben, is remember in the Southampton game, we all knew it. Just don't give James Ward-Prowse time to put crosses in. Yeah. Do not do it because that's what will happen. I think Yves Bissouma is going to be on him like Harry Kane, like he was with Harry Kane at Brighton. And if you can cut him off with his supply, then you've got half a chance or more than half a chance. And I just think, especially after that Roma game, Conte's going to come in. You've got to remember, it's at home. People are going to be like the atmosphere there for the first day. Whether we agree with how the money's been spent, who the money's been spent on, blah, 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 we spent money. That crowd back in the Champions League, Conte, mate, I would not be surprised I'm gonna make a bold thought here to see if it happens. I wouldn't be surprised if Spurs on Friday night or Saturday morning announced that Conte signed his contract.
I hope so. It'd be wonderful.
Hopefully, just after Arsenal take a battering on Friday night.
There you go. Like, can you
That'll
imagine
be it.
if you're going into that stadium knowing he signed the contract, that place and the levels go up
'Cause he
tenfold.
was very happy. He was very jubilant in his interview.
Oh
Like,
my God.
Yeah.
Do you wonder if maybe, well, he's going to know obviously more about the club than we do at the moment, but do you think there's maybe a little inside knowledge for him on we might be signing a few players here, and it's just convinced him that get that done. I'm happy with this, because I can't imagine he's too thrilled so far with the signings we've made. Perisic, yeah. Bissouma, definitely.
Yeah.
He says he's happy with Jed Spence, but clearly that wasn't his idea of the transfer. But I mean, other than that, Richarlison he'll be happy with as well.
Yep.
But
I've
do
got
you
a
think that's
slight-
it? Oh, sorry. Yes.
I think we might play a 3-5-2 this weekend. I think we will try and stifle them.
I do love the 3-5-2, but I'll be interested to know, because I think I've raised this point and people in the chat, and I don't know if I've spoken to Kuva or you, Ben, about it. I think what we've done with this central defender that we know we desperately need, and I've actually said, and I tweeted it now, I want Skriniar over Bastoni. We need that centre back sorted, and we have. So I think we've got ourselves into a situation right now, which I'm fine with, is the amount of transfers that we've got in. We've kind of given ourselves, if let's just say Skriniar is on the cards, this deal could take a bit of time, as Daniel Levy does, or just the actual the workings of it. Just the workings of this deal could take a few weeks. I think we've given ourselves the gift of time this time, because normally we're here going, oh my God, can we just sign this bloody player? And we haven't even signed anyone, or one maybe, and we're dragging out this one signing, and everyone is like, oh my God, can we just get this done? But I think now we've bought, or Conte has, or what the club have given us. If we say, right, we're in for a Skriniar, but this ain't going to, or I'm just using Skriniar as the example, but a defender of that standard, but this ain't going to be an easy transfer. It may take a few weeks. I think if someone told me right now we're going to get Skriniar, but it's going to take 3-4 weeks, I'd more than happily wait those 3-4 weeks rather than say, right, get someone in now. You know what I mean? I think we've given ourselves that one transfer to say, if you're going to get it, take your time to get it. What do you think, Kuva?
Yeah, we're at the point now. It's got to be quality.
Exactly.
You can't just settle for a second-rate player just to boost the ranks. So Skriniar fits a bill. He is certainly a replacement for Dyer.
Yep.
That's not a replacement, that's like going from a Fiat to a Bugatti.
Yeah.
That's like a versatile upgrade. I'd personally love Milinkovic. I really like Milinkovic, because he's something we don't have, because we've got Longley, who's brilliant on the ball. We've got Romero, who's brilliant on the ball. What we need now is a middle guy that is just an absolute colossus. 6'5" tall, reads the game really well. He's got a brain on him, but he doesn't lose. The only thing that's going to beat him in the air is like a Peter Crouch or a Lukaku, someone of massive physical stature, and that's what we need. More so.
How about this? How about getting a Skriniar and then getting two people called Milinkovic?
Listen, do you know what it is? Do you know what it is as well? The reason I go Skriniar is if he comes in late, which he will, he knows everything that Conte wants. Yeah. He knows everything that Conte demands. His fitness levels will be at a certain level already. And I think if you're going to get someone in right now, especially to be that central figure, if you have someone that Conte's worked with, and if there's another defender Conte's worked with that he wants, fine.
Luke.
I think the other great thing about mentioning Milinkovic is the defensive Milinkovic is he also covers Romero's role.
Yeah.
So it's get them both in. That'd be a tidy little finish. Then what? A right wing, either a right wing back to go with Jed Spence, or that creative attacking spark like Milinkovic, Savic, someone like that, or even keep going on one we were always harping on about Maddison at Leicester.
Yep.
Is it who did I see had a bid rejected for him the other day? Newcastle, yeah.
They
well,
bid 40 and said come back with 60.
That's it. That's an upcoming competitor, isn't it? Let's see if we can steal it away from him.
But if we bid a proper bit of money for him, let's say 60 million, and maybe some add-ons, 60 million up front and 10 million in add-ons, if we do like certain performance things, Leicester have to take it. They are desperate for money.
Yep.
Like beggars can't be choosers. They are absolutely on their arse financially. They're losing half their team. They're going to lose Schmeichel.
I'm just about to bring it up. They've got a lot of players where their contracts end this season. I'm just going to bring it up.
I would have had Schmeichel over Forster as our second goalkeeper.
Isn't it weird how only a couple of seasons back we're all saying about how well Leicester are run, and they're doing really good recruitment policy and everything like that, and it's just suddenly seems to be unraveling. It's a weird one that they could be in trouble this season, couldn't they?
Yeah, they could be in real trouble.
Here you go. So I'm going to read the play. Here we go.
Everyone was saying,
Leicester players whose contract ends at the end of this upcoming season. So where are we going to? So I can't even pronounce that guy's name. I'm going to copy and paste it and put it in the chat. I'm not even going to attempt to butcher this because this would be the butchery of butchery. He's not a first teamer, but that's his name that I've just put in the chat. Good luck trying to say that. Johnny Evans. Rather you than me. So the next list we've got Johnny Evans.
Yeah.
Hasba Chowdhury.
Yeah.
Chowdhury, sorry. Daniel Amati, Yuri Tillemans, Mendy, Perez, Soyuncu, Vardy, Schmeichel.
That's half their team. There's literally half their team, and Johnny Evans could still do a job. I'd have Johnny Evans. He's a good centre back.
That's the amount of people that Leicester have got to be. And I've got a friend who's a Leicester City fan, and I spoke to him in depth about this. And yes, they do need the money, but the reason they need the money isn't because of what we're thinking. Apparently, what's happened, they've got like a 30, 35-man squad.
Yeah.
And the chairman has said, listen, we're not in Europe this year. You can have the money, but you need to clear the decks. We don't need 35 players. It's kind of like they're saying you need to sell before you buy, but it's not because of financial reasons. It's because it's all financial at the end of the day. But you know what I mean? It's not because they need to raise capital. They want to trim their squad size. They want to trim their wage bill and get it down to a respectable amount. They will spend, but you're right. They do need to. They haven't got. They've been in Europe for so many seasons now, haven't they? Well, since the Champions League, they've been in Europe every single season, and this is the first one. So it's going to take a hit, even if it's Europa League or Conference League money, and advertisement and everything. But they have got to do something. And Maddison, that's the thing with that 40 million bet. Go on, Spurs, go put on 50.
Yeah.
Go say, here you go, 50. Don't even go to 60. You've got to,
to have him. We really need James Maddison in that team.
Well, here's a question: would you take James Maddison or Milinkovic-Savic, given the choice?
Milinkovic-Savic.
That's where I'm at as well. I prefer to see us go down that route.
Milinkovic-Savic he's borderline one of the top 3 midfielders in the world. I think he might even be in the top 3 midfielders, but we haven't seen it because he's not in a. Lazio are an all right team, but they're not a great team. We need to see what he's like in a proper team.
I think this the conversation keep having on all the different channels while we're talking pre-season is it's been an okay window so far. There's a lot of promise in it, but we need to be pushing further. We've got Conte, so we need to get in these really good signings. Don't forget about the word marquee. Just look at quality, quality signings. And I think for me, a couple of centre backs, couple of wing backs, and an attacking player, ideally, that's too many, isn't it? That's not realistic. So if you boil it down to 3, just get a centre back, a right wing back, and some sort of creative spark or attacking flair, somebody that can run at people. So like a Milinkovic-Savic. Ben's quite keen on Mailer from.
Everyone's keen on him. He's quality right wing back.
Yeah, well, they've got 2. I'll take either of them as well because I like Hatterboer as well. And then we took a Skriniar or someone of that, or Milinkovic. What a window it turns into all of a sudden.
You know what it is, Kuba. I don't know if it was you that was saying it, but someone, I think maybe Iggy, on the on Henry Wright show yesterday was, and I've said this for a long time as well, is Chelsea look like they're going for Fofana, they're going for Dumfries, who I would love. You've heard me say it a million times. But this is it. What they do is when they are ready, when they're interested, there's no there's to in and fro in and let's haggle. It's like, how much do you want? We need this player. He makes us better.
Yeah.
What's your value? There you go. Obviously, there might be a bit of haggling here and there, but it's like, bang, over you come, signed, sealed, delivered.
Yeah.
But that is actually affecting them this year, that method, because what's happening is they're showing their hands of how much they're going to pay. And because all the football clubs talk to each other, let's say Inter talk to Barcelona and say, you want Dumfries as well. This is what Chelsea have offered us.
Of course.
So that if you have to deal in the shadows now, because what's happened is Chelsea is showing their hand. And instead of them being the most money, people are poaching them.
Doesn't even need to be the football clubs talking, does it? Agents will do all that.
Yeah.
It's what happened to us. You've got to remember, like I said, what I've been enjoying this season is...
Oh, you suddenly went very quiet, Brian.
Is that better?
Yeah,
that's
much.
better.
Okay. So what I've been enjoying this season is normally like the Luis Diaz deal with Liverpool, we've been used as the club's bitch. It's like, let's say Tottenham are interested. Let's use them to jack the price down to where we want, and then we'll come in and swoop. Well, it's kind of like what we've been doing. And I actually thought when that link came out when I was back in England that Pau Torres was back on the cards, and it was during the Bastoni time. To me, what I read in that is that was us using Villarreal to say, Inter, get your fucking wriggle on, or we're not being used as the bitch. Chelsea are being used as the bitch. Arsenal have been used as the bitch. Most of or what we're led to believe, like all the ones that went under the radar, Basuma, Forster, Perisic, they've been done brilliantly. But that Basuma one, I'm convinced Eriksen was the smoke. And by the way, have you heard Christian Eriksen's comments today?
No,
I didn't.
He's come out today. I don't know where it is. It was in one of my Unique Out groups. He's done an interview, and the interview's come out and said, whilst I was at Tottenham, I was always in contact with the Manchester United managers to see what the situation was. I never thought I'd finally be here, but now I am. And I'm like, shut your mouth. Shut your mouth. Why do you want to say during that time I was in contact with United? I mean, I could understand it when he said he wanted to leave, but to say I was in contact with every Man U manager whilst I was at Spurs, it's like, you idiot.
I mean, it tells me all I need to know, because we all saw the reports of the weekend of the Champions League final. Christian Eriksen was in Madrid shopping for houses with his missus.
Yep.
To look for houses because he desperately wanted to go to Real Madrid.
Yep.
It's just obvious that not only was he trying to leave, he was trying to leave disrespectfully. Oh, yeah. Happy that he got his move. But he's shown that he's a bit of a prick, hasn't he?
Yeah. Yeah.
He's like, he got a move that he didn't want to enter. He miraculously won a league title because Conte's a genius. But then suddenly, no one wanted him after he had his issue, which we're very sorry he had his issue, because you never wish that on anyone, what he had. But it's like, he's gone back, he's finally back. And instead of showing a new lease of life and being humble that he's got his life back after going through something that's absolutely awful, he's gone back to being a prick again.
Yeah, but this is the thing. Do you know what, Ben? He's actually also the United that he would have been in contact with all the time. They're a completely different United. They're in an absolute mess. That you've gone to United. Big up, Cole. You've gone to a United where their name will never drop. Their name is massive. There's no getting away from just how big that club is. But that is not a club at the peak of its powers. It's the exact opposite. And it's just, I mean, you didn't come to Spurs this summer, whether it was we didn't want him, the smokes or whatever. You got your move. You were bigging up the Spurs. There's certain things you may endear yourself more to the United fans now, but you're going to come back to Spurs and you've dampened your legacy. You've dampened your reputation. You've dampened the way people are going to think of you as a. I've seen people going, "Oh, now I couldn't give a monkeys about him. He's dead to me. I don't want to hear his name. I don't want to." And it's like, why do that?
He's going to get booed. He was getting clapped last time. He's going to get booed this time.
Yeah, it's like,
yeah.
And that's the thing. That's the thing. Do you know what? Like I said, Pete, it was well documented. I was disgusted with Ericsson when he left, or not when he left, but the manner and whatever was going on. Obviously, there's different ways to look at it, but either way, he did his Where's Wally impression for the last few games or for the last few months, and just wasn't giving his all. I suppose that's actually some of the manager's problem for picking him as well. So it can't just be his. But you left the club. And people loved you. And when we signed him, I was waxing lyrical about him in the first couple of... He used to have 3-month periods where no one can touch him.
Yeah.
Every season, he'd have 3 months where he literally was untouchable. And now you go and say this. It's just like, why? Why would you say it?
Well, I'm looking at it. It's a ill conceived attempt to ingratiate himself to the Man United fans, isn't it? It's like, it's the kind of thing you might say if you want to get straight into their good book, saying, "Oh, I always wanted to come here." It's like Robbie Keane kissing the badge when he goes to Liverpool and stuff like that. You still wouldn't say it though. Brian's right. I mean, there's some things it's better to keep under your hat because it's just going to infuriate people. But there we go. What I did like most about that is at the start of it when Brian said, "I saw it on one of my leaving out groups."
There's two. There's two. There's two that are kind of splintered. Yeah, talking to the big Graham, big up, brother. Yeah, no, I'm part of. There's two. They're all basically. One is there's two. That's all I'll say. And yeah, so it got mentioned in there, and like I said, it's just what he's done. It's just why say these things. You could have just said to United, "I'm delighted to be here." The normal it's a dream to play for a team as big as Manchester United. I enjoyed watching them, and obviously I've seen them from up close in my time in the Premier League, the stadium, the fans, the history. There you go. Yep. You endear yourself to United fans. You don't have a slide dig or anything at Tottenham Hotspur, and it's all good. But you come out and say these things. I don't know how much the agents have to like before you say this or don't say this or whatever, because surely you would know not to say that. And this is so true. Romero chopping coming.
Yeah.
Romero chopping coming.
If he's been talking to the Man United manager, even when he was under contract at Tottenham, surely that's tapping up, right? Surely that is just blatant tapping up from whoever the Man United managers. It would be from the three managers. So when he left, Solskjaer wasn't the manager, was he?
No, it would have been Van Gaal when he was still here.
Probably, yeah. It would have been Van Gaal.
And a bit of Mourinho.
Yeah. So it's just that you've been tapped up. Surely we need to start acting like a big club and say they're tapping him up. Well, you
know what? It's come out now. I don't know if Tottenham would have had wind of it or whatever, and he didn't go, did he? He didn't go. So I think if he had gone during that time, then you're talking a different kettle of fish. But this time, it's all well and good coming out, but you're just an idiot. You're just an idiot.
I think Cole Simpson's right here with his last comment. Tapping up everywhere now and can't govern it. Of course he can't.
Yeah, you look at it. Did Pep get into trouble last season for his comments on Harry Kane? Did Bayern Munich get in trouble? They just do it. These big clubs, especially like Pep, who don't give a monkeys about financial fair play. There's always loopholes. They always find a way to get round it. It's just ridiculous.
Some of the time, I wonder as well if some of the big media outlets will actually pay clubs to tell their manager to say something controversial, just to get a bit more interest going, sell a few more of their, glorious products, and this is what it's like in the Football League. It's some of it's just so needless, isn't it?
Yep.
Actually, no, it's not betting. So it's not like when Arsenal played that lower league team, and then the guy, the goalkeeper, was seen eating a pasty.
Yep.
He got into a lot of trouble for that.
Big time. But you know another thing, and I was speaking about it, and obviously Bob broke it on the show yesterday. Ollie Skip, and I said, as soon as he got injured before the Rangers, I said, oh, here we go. Last time they said it was a knock.
Yeah.
And everyone was like, no, don't worry, it's just a knock, it's a precaution. I was like, we've heard this before. Then obviously he didn't travel to Israel.
Yeah.
And then yesterday it came out, he could miss up to 5 games. And I said this before, I said, I love this kid, but could this injury, whatever it may be, I hope we're not going down the road of a Darren Anderton, a Jack Wiltshire, and other players of that ilk. Because
Lamella as well.
Yeah,
he had
there you
ages out, didn't he? Yeah.
There you go. It's concerning because now we're down to 3 midfielders.
Yeah.
So Milinkovic, Savic incoming, and Madison. Why not?
Yeah.
Milinkovic, Savic, Madison, Gvardiol, and Skriniar. There we go. How would that do for you, Kuva? With no right back, with just those 4.
I could go with that. So it's of the level, isn't it, that we're looking for?
Yeah.
That's the thing. At the moment, this promising window isn't a game-changing window at any stretch of the imagination. What I'm really worried about is we don't sign anybody else. Arsenal and Chelsea do, because we it's fun to make. It's nice to make fun of Arsenal and say, yeah, they're still weak in the midfield and everything. Suppose they go out and get themselves a midfield general to replace Xhaka.
Yeah.
They suddenly look like a big different prospect then.
Yeah.
Because they have filled with quality players in an attacking sense. I actually do see next season they're going to get a lot of games where they blow teams apart. They're going to play some blinding football, get 4-5-0 wins, but they'll come unstuck when they play Chelsea, when they play us, when they play Liverpool, Man City, and it will cost them. But if they do go out and get that grit, that sort of quality player in the positions where they are weak, they become a different prospect. And if we haven't improved to match it, we might not even be getting top 4. That's how important it is to get this window right, and we're not there yet.
So you look at it. The net spend, here we go with our favourite word again, is 50 million or around that, and we need to spend this 150 million. I think when Tanganga and Rodon go, that will bring defenders in. I think that's what we're waiting to get done. But what you got to look at, and I started joking about it. And like I said, this isn't a dig at you know who. When you're looking at trying to get a centre back, and we know we need that centre back, we know we needed a replacement for Kane. Every single Spurs fan and every single football fan around the world knew, and we've had to wait 8 years. We knew we needed a replacement for Dembele. Everyone knew that, not just Spurs fans, pundits, every fan around the world. We waited 4 years for Basuma. So the centre back should be arriving around 2027.
Yeah,
based on the logic that we do. But listen, do you know what this is? And forget the finances part of it. This is what will show if we're a big boy club doing big boy things again, because we need a centre back.
Yeah,
it's not.
Here's the other thing as well. If we accept that it's going to take time to get in all these quality players on this mass scale we're talking about, and let's face it, we did need about 12, 14, maybe even 16 players to get into the squad, all of a really good quality. Now, if you assume that's not doable in one window, which of course that would be absolutely insane. That'll be like the Man City splurge of all time. So that's not happening. 2 windows, 2 summer transfer windows, you could get some more done. Are we going to get all of it? You'd still say it's unlikely. Then we're talking 3 windows to get them in. 3 years' time. Harry Kane, Son Heung-min, how old are they getting then?
Yep.
We could be looking at losing 2 of our greatest players by the time the rest of the squad has caught up to what we need to challenge. And then we're rebuilding yet again. It's the same cycle all the time with this club. We look like we're trying to correct that this summer. But unless we go that extra mile, getting those players when you're not expecting to do any more business, but then we do anyway. That's when we're going to get somewhere, because we have let the Levy let the club stagnate for so long. We're now paying the price for it. We're a long way behind everybody else. And, well, you could say the same. Arsenal done the same thing, haven't they? They had trouble. They had to spend big time just to get back up into their race for the top four. They're spending big again to try and push that a little bit further. If we're not matching it and we carry on doing this cycle of just replace what we got, don't improve, minor improvements. I think Perisic is a great player. Like we said, Perisic is a great player. Basuma, I think, is going to be a great player for us. Yeah. And I think Richarlison's going to be a good player for us too. But we need so much more, don't we? And
you know how I'd write it up, Kauffie? Sorry, the way I write it up, I'm going to use something that Ilana always says to me. Big up, Superman. And let's see what people in the comments think as well. Ilana always has this thing. When I say we have to have this, we have to have this, we have to have... and she's like, is it a want or a need? And if we look at centre-back, right wing-back, attacking midfielder, for me, centre-back is a need, not a want. Central attacking midfielder is a need, not a want. Right wing-back, I would say, is a want, not a need. And the only reason I say that is because there is cover there. There is a lot of people there. So I'd rather wait and get the fucking right one. But the two players out of those three that I think are desperate, like I said, that are needs over wants, are centre back and attacking midfielder. What about you two?
Yeah, I personally want to see the back of Doherty and Emerson Royale. So I disagree with you that it's a want. I think it's a need. We need a right wing back. We desperately need a solid, dependable attacking right wing back, because Doherty is getting on a bit. He's 31 years old, but he's not the same pinnacle as a Perisic, where he has been at top shape his entire career. Was Doherty is now, he's got a really bad injury really late on in his sort of time, so you don't know how he's going to repair from that. Emerson Royale's not a footballer at all, so that's why I'd get rid of him. I would be okay with Doherty staying, because he does a job, and he's like, in a game where you have to get a goal and you need to commit men forward, Doherty's perfect, because he is a terror in the box, because with his size, his goal threat, he can get assists, whereas Emerson Royale is useless. He's totally useless.
Okay, so need for right wing back,
and we need a centre attacking midfielder, a James Maddison. Just so if let's say Champions League, we're playing a team that's better on the ball than us. We're going to need someone to put in midfield and be able to get his foot on the ball and pass the ball, and we don't have that at the moment. We've got Bentancur, but one player in those sorts of, you need two of them so they can pass to each other. You need to make angles and triangles. So we need to have a player that we can drop into a three-man midfield and can pass the ball in a bigger game.
And centre-back?
Centre-back, Milinkovic, absolute need.
Okay, so you're going all three for need?
Yeah.
Okay, Kauffie?
I'll go even further. I think we need both left wing-back and right wing-back. If something happens to Perisic, and we're depending on Sessegnon for a large period of the season, I think I'd write off a lot of ambition straight away there. I don't think he's good enough. He might improve, but I'm not seeing it. One great cross to Harry Kane against Roma, but other than that, nothing to suggest he's going to fill the boots he's required to fill. Same on the right wing back. We got Jed Spence, who looks exciting, looks capable of beating a player. That's something. That's a big start, but. Again, other than that, it's very weak over that side. I think we've got a lot of players we can get rid of in that position. So a couple of wing backs, I think, are a need. I think we also need a couple of centre backs, because if we do bring in a Skriniar and replace Dyer, what happens then? Romero gets injured. Who are we looking at again?
Yeah. So if you had to have two, if you both had to choose two out of those three positions I said, right back, centre back, creative midfielder, who are your two?
Right back and centre back for me.
Okay, Ben.
I'd go centre back and attacking midfielder. Personally,
I'm agreed with you on that one.
We need a centre back. We desperately need a centre back. We can manage with Doherty and Spence. We can manage, and manage is not what we need to do. We need to push forward. But
that's just it. That's why we're using the word need, though, isn't it? I don't. Right back and centre back isn't enough. We do need that spark up front as well. Somebody that wow factor, that one that turns a game on its head with a bit of genius, or even through blunt force trauma, if you like, get an absolute beast up front who just smashes his way through. I mean, there's something different to what we've currently got, so we can change the outcome of the game. And they are all needs for me, every single one of them.
Yeah.
This is the thing that what I've said before is that we need a signing to come in that doesn't just get the Tottenham Hotspur fans going, oh yes, here we go. We need one that the Premier League stand up and go, here we go.
Yeah.
Tottenham ain't messing about. This is a stellar, kind of like when we signed Klinsmann, when the whole and Rafa, the whole Premier League were like, here we go. This is serious. But back then we were nowhere near the standards we are now. So I think we have to, and I still think we might just put it off.
Yeah.
I think there is a wow signing coming, but it needs to be a wow not just for us, but for the Premier League to be like, shit, here we go.
I think James Maddison.
That would be one.
Go back even further as well. Lineker, Gascoigne, Aussie Ardiles, Ricky Villa. It was a regular thing. We saw great players coming in through the door.
Yep.
Nowadays, you don't see that very often. It's more a case of it's promising players we hope are going to be great.
Yep.
We've lost our way, and that's been coming over the last. I'm not even just going to blame this solely on Levy. It was the same under Sugar for a lot of the time as well. Bar that one window where we got the Klinsmann, Popescu, Dumitrescu. Bloody hell, what a window that was!
Yeah, but I'll tell you what, Dumitrescu was incredible, or then he got found out with his one trick. But I'll tell you what, Gianluca Popescu is one of the most underrated players I've ever seen in my lifetime. He was phenomenal. It's just a shame he couldn't settle in England. Obviously, he went to Barca. He was a tremendous player.
Agree.
Just as a public service announcement, there is the link for Bob's NHS PayPal. They've got 14 more days until the 15th of August, where there's going to be a big fat check going to the Princess Alexandria Hospital in Harlow. So if you've got a couple of quid to spare, please donate to the PayPal. It's in there, just on PayPal. And they're at 2,777, something crazy like that. You need to get them to 3,000. An anonymous donor is going to double that money come the 15th. And big up to them. And let's get that up to 3,000. Big up, Bob.
Damn right.
Yeah.
Damn right.
Yep. Yeah. Frere and yeah. These are all Maddison or Gvardiol. I don't think Gvardiol's moving until the new season.
That's why.
Minimum January, when his after the World Cup is when he'll decide on a move, which is why he's put a release clause in his new contract.
Yeah, I reckon this is the sole reason, not just for him, but people like Bastoni. That's why Legne's coming. It's win-win. He comes in, and if he does do a good job, who knows? He could do a terrific job in the back three for Conte, and then we can try and get him. But it's a bit annoying. There's no buyback clause. But if it doesn't work out, then you've got cover, and then next year when these two, and we're talking Gvardiol and Bastoni, will be more reachable and gettable, we can go all out for them. And I would imagine that Paratici, if that is the case, is working on them already.
Yeah.
Like literally, so when the window comes and it can be done. That Gvardiol could be immense.
Yeah.
Could be immense.
Especially with Parisic's mate there. He could really go into that team like an absolute glove.
Do you know what? We underestimate how important kind of things like that are. You see how quickly Richarlison is settling into to stuff in the training ground. He's got Mora, he's got Emerson, he's got. So obviously he knows some other players, but I think we take that factor, especially with the foreign players that are coming in. It's hard for them to settle in England or a new place or a new part of the country because they've moved from Everton. All right, Richarlison's had a bit of time in London or near London with Watford, however way you want to look at it. But I think having those influences of your fellow team, your countrymen there, can be a huge point in this.
Yeah, I mean, that's what happens. Even going back to Ozzy Ardiles, the only reason he can't Tottenham is they let him bring his mate Ricky with him.
Exactly.
So he had something to chat with. So it's definitely a community spirit. You've got to have a community spirit. The South American players are best mates for each other, which is crazy, really. But
well, we've done this as well. You got around back in the day. We did it with Justin Edinburgh and Dean Austin, Michael Dawson and Andy Reid, Simon Davies and Matthew Errington, coming from the lower leagues. It's like, right, you're both Carl Walker and Carl Norton.
Yeah.
It just, you going there makes it that so. I mean, and those are people that are obviously English and have played there in the country all their life. But what a help it can make for them settling in.
Yeah. Anonymous donators on it. I would wager that it's Daigle. He's always up for a double down. Bloody hell.
Do you know what? If I've still got to, and Bob knows I'm a man of word, so I will do it. I said we're going to get the shirts printed from Kuva saying, and all money will go to Bob's charity. That still will happen. Obviously, being out of work and everything, I haven't been able to get the shirts, but it will be too late for this. But there will be another donation coming because we're going to get 100 shirts, put it on the Tottenham on Tour shop, and every single penny's going to Bob so he can give it to the NHS.
Apparently, they almost bought Maradona. Imagine those three. Imagine Maradona played for Tottenham. We would have won everything.
Well, he did, didn't he?
No, but do you know the story about this? I saw that, mate. This is the most unbelievable story. During Ozzy Ardiles' time, and it was the summer that Klinsmann came in, Ozzy Ardiles pulled Teddy Sheringham to one side because he was the captain and said, listen, I'm going to tell you something, but you have to keep this quiet. I'm signing you a strike partner and you're not going to believe who in the hell it is. He was like, who is it? And Teddy Sheringham tells this story. He goes, it's Diego Maradona. And that we're talking like after the Greece World Cup and everything. So that was when he was on the decline anyway. And literally this was a goer through Ozzy and Diego. And then Sugar and the club were like, you know what? This guy comes with way too much baggage. Way too much. Which would have been right. Let's face it. It wouldn't have been the glory Maradona we would have signed. It would have been the name and the marketing and the merchandising, whatever. So that didn't go through. And apparently Teddy Sheringham was a bit pissed off. And then he said, don't worry, we've got another striker. He is coming. It's getting signed as we speak. And he said, it's Jurgen Klinsmann. And Teddy Sheringham was like, are you joking? Even Teddy couldn't believe how it was. But Maradona actually was, not just in that friendly we all talk about. He was very, very close to joining us in '94. But then the club, and fair play to the club for pulling out, because that could have been a PR nightmare.
Good, bad publicity is still good publicity, though.
Yeah,
that's
true.
the problem. Chris is saying he'll buy a t-shirt. Get it done. Aaron's saying, deleted my WhatsApp last night, fell out with channel scraps. I'm not going on shows anymore. It's not worth the abuse some of us get.
Right, Aaron, let me just say to you, one thing I've done, and I did this months ago, and you would have been I think you would have been. I removed myself from every single group. Yeah. I am in none. Only Tottenham on Tour related, or a few in Toronto and the ENIC, whatever. It's not just because of the bickering that may go on between certain channels or certain people, whatever. It's got to the point now where if you ask Rez or Bob or Kim or anyone, my phone, when I was in these groups, just ping, 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 like non-stop. You go away for 3 hours and there's like 400 messages, and I'm not reading all 400. And then you start reading this argument or this link, and you're starting to get a message through, and then all of a sudden someone's done one of those reply things to a previous conversation. So you push that, and it takes you all. I was like, do you know what? I can't. And everyone will know how incredible Ilana is with me doing this, me going to England for Bob, and me going to England, and me streaming whenever. She's amazing. And it got to the point, I said, you know what? When I get off streams, my WhatsApp goes crazy from groups talking about a stream. And I'm missing out on time with Ilana. Ilana gives me so much time to do this. I was like, no. So I will not join. If people put me in a Spurs WhatsApp group, I will remove myself from it immediately. Yeah. Because all the bickering that may or may not go on, you hear it in one group and it's all one way. Then you hear it in another group from another way. Then you hear it and then it's crossover. And then it's people sending stuff. Mate, Aaron, don't delete WhatsApp, brother.
Just delete it.
just don't join any groups, brother. I love having conversations with you on WhatsApp, and I'm very responsive on WhatsApp, as everyone will know. Don't just, like I said, I do not join.
Don't remove yourself from the world because
Yeah, don't remove yourself from the community, just for the sake of the arguments that go on, because you're missing out on people that do genuinely love you, love talking to you. And I'm not just talking about Aaron, I'm talking about everyone. It's just too much. I just can't do the groups anymore. It all starts off fine, but then it just becomes World War III. And it's do you know what? It's not just the Tottenham community groups, it's all groups.
Yeah.
I've got a couple of groups that I'm in that it's just jokes and laughs and no whatever. But then you start getting these big groups where they become, and then that's where it all falls off the rails. So Aaron, don't remove yourself, please, brother.
Yeah, but you're always welcome here, Aaron. If you ever want to come on any day, we can't do today because we've only got 25 minutes left. But another day, if you ever want to shout, always text Brian and I can send him the link to send to you. Big up, Aaron. Big up, big up, big up. He was originally going to come down with it as well when they just joined. That would have been something, wouldn't it?
Yep.
I believe he was only 15, 16.
Could you imagine?
Maradona played in a friendly alongside his brother Raul for Toronto, Italia against the Canadian National Soccer League.
See, Canada, the world of football is, mate, I can't wait for the World Cup to be here. And Catman, just make sure you are here for the North London derby with Rez. You need to come to Toronto.
I ended up meeting, amazingly, the Irish Hotspur group, since I was re-added again. I was really annoyed that I was re-added, but it's actually really chill now. It's all right. It's not too bad now, so...
I love all the people in the group. I love all the people that are in the groups, and I'll speak to them. But it's just like I can't do groups. You know what? The way we've got as well, like when you come into this community, it opens up a lot of doors. Like within the community, you get to meet a lot of people, and when you join these groups, you get these numbers, and you start talking to them. But now I'm like, do you know what? If I need to talk to Kuva about something, I won't do it through a group. I'll message him directly. If I need to talk to Ben, I'm not going to message him in a group. I'll speak to you directly. There's just, I can't be, when literally I was with Kim one day and literally we had just gone to the hospital to see Bob. That's all we'd done. I had my phone with me, but I put my phone on silent. From when we left to go to the hospital, from when we got back, I had over 2,000 messages. I was just like, it's not just it's not acceptable. I'm not going to read 2,000 messages. So I was just like, no, do you know what? I can't do this. And I'll tell you what, it's made my life so much more relaxed.
I couldn't help it. I had a lot to say that day.
If I know they'd all been you, Kuva, I might have read them.
I know. It might have actually been funny and worth reading.
Oh, they're hysterical.
Yeah, I know what you mean, though. I'm having this conversation with a couple of people in the last few days as well, where I'm just thinking, I'm only in a couple of groups, and even that seems like too many.
Yeah.
I mean, like leaving the Irish Hotspur group, I'm thinking, I like Dave and everything, and you know, I like a lot of the people in the chat there. It's just, as Brian says, do I really want to come every sort of half hour, every hour? There's another 30 messages to go through. I don't need it. I can come on stream, talk to people in the comment section. Actually, that's probably one of the bits I enjoy most now on streaming. Come on, start talking to people on stream, and then you look in the comment section, and it's relevant. They're like joining in on the conversation. It's really important that.
That's one of the reasons why we do the stream. I don't like planning, so to come in and have a chat. Everyone's here. Join the conversation.
That's the thing. As you know, we do straight out of Conte as pre-recorded, and the reason we do that is, first of all, if you're doing it live, you get people in the comments and you start losing your train of thought because people will want to talk, and rightly so. But it's like, what we love doing is we premiere it, and then I go in the chat whilst it's premiering. So it's great to start being able to and it's wonderful to do. And this is a big top man.
Yeah, Carl.
But yeah, like I said, we have got such a wonderful community. A majority of these people that are in the chat, I speak to on WhatsApp. I mean, I think I've got Carl Simpson's number. I'm going to check and make sure. If not, I'm going to get that. James, I need to get James and Ian. There's so many people. I speak to Chris Agabar. There's just, it's nice to talk to people. Like Hoover said, when they're in the chat and the chat's relevant, it's wonderful to be able to go back and engage. And also, it's wonderful to speak to them outside. But it's just like, I don't need to put in a group. If I need to speak to Cole Simpson, I don't put in a group. Oh, by the way, Cole, and then it just goes, and it's just too much.
Yeah.
Just too much. The great thing about it is when all this, like, I don't know what's happened with Aaron or what groups or whatever. As I say to people, hear no evil, see no evil.
Yeah.
No matter what happens.
Yes.
Oh, Brian, what do you think about what he said or what she said or what? And I'm like, I haven't got a clue. Haven't got a clue.
It's that usual thing. I'd rather be uninformed than misinformed. Because you don't
Exactly. That's it.
Everyone's got their own point of view. So if someone's telling you something, you don't know if that's from their point of view, whether it's just a general thing, or I don't know. But you have Brian, mate. If not, Bobby K.
I thought I had it, Carl, brother. I thought I had it, but I've got my phone on charge. I had at 5 o'clock in the morning, so I was up at stupid o'clock. I had a 2.5 hour phone call with Danny Kiriakou, and I had Ben join us for the last half hour.
That was
we were
fun.
just discussing. Yeah, so I've been up since 5 o'clock in the morning, not because of Simba, but yeah. So I'll check it because my phone's charging. But Carl, I'll definitely reach out to you.
It's interesting to find to see that Danny's actually alive.
Oh, mate, it's wonderful to see. It's wonderful to see that he's alive.
I am hugely disappointed knowing you've been up since 5 a.m. and I still haven't got any Simba videos or pictures.
Well, do you know what? Literally, I gave him breakfast, but he's literally been in the bedroom. It's like I said, it's bank holiday, so Alana's asleep lying in. So he's a very, very mummified cat. If she's about or free,
Fair.
it doesn't matter what I do. I could walk around with treats all over me, and he will just stay with her. So
you're for functional use, and she's
that's basically But when Ilana's got to go away on a few trips on business shortly, so I've got sole custody. So then we'll see what he's like. I'm like, oh, really? But yeah, you're when there are Simba, you're the first person that gets it.
So it's a weird thing with cats as well, though, because part of their cycle of showing affections is to not come up to you at times. They choose their own moment. They love you not coming up to bother them. They want to choose their moment. It's the opposite of dogs. Dogs are completely other side of the coin. So it's strange with cats. They can be really standoffish, love you, but they'll go to a stranger to go and get pets because it's new to them. It's more exciting. It's more a social thing to meet somebody new and get fussed over because they know what they get with their owner. So it's pick and choose. Very very strange creatures, but I love them.
Aaron's back in the chat. I'm just going to put Aaron. I hope you heard what I had to say. Do not remove WhatsApp. That's an order.
Well, it's my mental health escape. Just try it and keep it light and fun. Yeah.
That's it.
I don't understand that there are people in the community that deliberately cause arguments. And most of us are here for our own mental health. It's an escape for us. We found someone, not a safe space, but it's sort of a safe space. We don't want to create an echo chamber, but we want to have a constructive, quiet, decent conversation and then get better as people because of it. But there are certain people in the community that will cause an argument, not believing in that argument, just to get a reaction off of people. That's not acceptable. And then they're nice to you in person. They're like the loveliest people in the world to you in purpose. But the moment they get behind a telephone or a computer, they become the most horrible people on the planet. And that's not acceptable. That's a betrayal of trust. Like you think they're really nice, and then they're suddenly really horrible to you. It's just like who you pretend to be.
Of course, and you got to look at it. And I speak about this regularly. When I first went on We Are Tottenham TV, I should have been on there 6 months earlier. But every single time I was got into the back end bit that you get into, I bottled it and got out of it. And the reason was when I was being my team leader and all I did, I could speak in a room in front of 1,000 people, like in a big office or a big, no worries whatsoever. Put me in a room like when I was doing presentations in meeting rooms, and you close that door, I felt like a caged animal in the zoo. And I just went literally like the walls were closing in on me. And doing this actually, because now obviously when you know it, like now we got 22 people, but when you do other shows or you go on We Are Tottenham TV and it's in their thousands, the thing that it does to you, the confidence that it gives, and even all these people in the chat, and even when I've been in the chat, there's people that are sitting at home and they're by themselves doing their work or just whatever. This whole community, like you see it in all the chats. Hey, how you doing? What's up? Hey, Catman. Hey, this. Hey, Carl. Hey, Aaron. Hey, this is what I love. What it's done, and this is what it's all about.
Yeah, this is what it's all about. One of the things people always say to me is, "Hey Ben, you're exactly the same person off camera as you are on camera. So
Yep.
why would it change?" Well, I like being mental and having an argument about chicken soup for absolutely no reason. It's part. It's full. It's just, why would I be any different? It's the reason. Why would I have a different personality? I don't have the time to make up another personality.
Well, it's a natural thing for a lot of people, though. You build up this facade of like you're more confident than you really are, and that sort of thing. I mean, so many of us do that. In some way, we all do it to an extent. But I know what you mean. That for me, it's like my protection from the world. Just go like really stupid with stuff, use comedy as a coping mechanism for just about everything. There's no such thing as a sick joke to me. It's just all coping. It's a difficult subject. Make a joke about it. Doesn't matter how dark it is. Some people don't like it. For me, I love that sort of stuff. Make fun of the most sort of stuff you can't even say on the stream here, and it's all good with me. There's no taboos or anything like that. But I like to think I'm the same way in real life when I meet people. I don't have a on-screen personality that's different from my real life one, but it's all a bit fake. It's all me bigging myself up, like I'm the bloody business, isn't it? In it, it's like that's just me. I'll do that anyway. But it's fake. Of course, it's fake. I mean, I've got the same insecurities as other people, and it's what we do, isn't it? It's how we deal with it. So I do like that when you get to a stage you can go on the camera and you are relaxed about it all and just be yourself. I think that's what comes across with Ben a lot of the time. Brian as well, I see very much. Brian's just a bloody madman on screen. All off, isn't he?
Correct.
I'm just Brian Light, to be honest. I'm getting to where Brian's at. I'm just halfway there.
This is the thing that I learned. Listen, this goes back to me with when I was facing my demons and alcohol and cocaine and violence or whatever. And I realized that I used to be such a pathological liar that I couldn't remember which lie I was telling to which person. And every time my phone rang or doorbell rang, I was hiding under the door or trying to peep or putting my phone on silent or turning it the other way because then it all disappears. And then I was like, do you know what? When I started coming on my recovery, I was like, you're either going to like me for me or you're going to hate me for me. And if you hate me for me, fuck off, I ain't changing for you. And if you like me, and it's like with the demons, people look at me and they either go, "You're a fucking madman. You used to be an alky, a cocaine head. You're an addict. You're this or that," and think I don't want to be anywhere near you. And I'm like, okay, well that's your point. Or you think, well done, what an achievement. Look at the story he told me where he was and where he is. That's someone I want to know, and that's it. Either you love me or you hate me. And if you love me, then obviously I always get, like I said, loyalty and friendship are the two most important things to me. And I learned, don't be a pathological liar, just be you.
Yeah.
Whether it's on stream, meeting you in person, with my wife, with my family, with whoever, and that's the way I do it.
I like this.
Sorry,
Cooper, before I bring this up.
I was going to say, no, I better do this one first, actually.
Yeah, it's good to know that Bob is organising a get-together at my shop without knowing this time. Because they would have turned up on Saturday without me knowing. It's like, where the hell's Ben? This is like, I'm at home. Actually text me, Bob. Okay, big up. Go on, Cooper.
Yeah, I was just in tune with what Brian's saying. I'm much the same. When I was younger, I went through this phase of total alcoholism. I was in the pub like every day. I'd have 3-day drinking sessions. Completely lost myself. Complete denial on everything. It was always somebody else's fault. if I've messed up some way, I'd make up a lie about it, make sure it wasn't me, take no responsibilities, just running away from everything. And then just one day, I woke up and thought, you know what, I'm not doing this anymore. Yeah. And we all say about weight being lifted off the shoulders, but it's so bloody true. Yeah, the moment you do that, it's like, oh my God, there's a world out there. Yep. I can be part of it. And it's like you start drawing strength off what you used to be like and the fact you're not doing it now. And then you find your way forward again. And it's an amazing thing. Which one I've got. I've sort of gravitated towards these mental health streams we've been doing and backing it up, and Bob doing the thing about coming out of coma and everything. There is so much that people have to take round with them, and just opening up and saying we're all human. Everybody messes up at some point in their life. We all do it. It's how we deal with it afterwards, and the one that always comes through at the end of the day to me is being true to yourself. Because if you can do that, you can face up to anything. If you can look in the mirror and think, I did what I could, you're on the right path. Yeah. If you look in the mirror and think, I shouldn't have said that, and or I'm letting something go, I carry on that I shouldn't, and you're worried about it, or you can't even look in the mirror. Yeah. That's when you get the problem, and it's so easy to fall into that trap as well. It was for me. I was like it for about good 10 years. All of a sudden for me, what changed? Met the ex-missus. I had a couple of kids, and kids are what it was actually the best friend of my mother-in-law. She just once said, children are little lifesavers. And I suddenly realized what she meant. Yeah, everything changes, and you suddenly realize that's your past. Let it go. Yeah. And the freedom you feel is just amazing feeling.
Oh, just to add on that, it's like, obviously you mentioned the mental health shows. Kauffie was a part of what Bob did. I think what Bob did, if you look at it in this world and what we went through with COVID and what he specifically went through, no one ever knows what goes on when you're in that. No one ever, like, mental health has been spoken about. Obviously, I speak about it a lot, and people that have suffered with it speak about it a lot. There's a lot of stuff out there, whether it's not just streams, like in the world, like literature, websites, counsellors, this, that. But what Bob's trying to tackle is something that no one's tackled. And thankfully, Bob has lived through it to be able to tell the story and try and get more awareness for it. What Bob has done, I am so proud. I mean, everyone knows about mine and his relationship. I am so proud of that man for what he's trying to do. Because not a lot of people get to tell that story, and obviously there are hundreds and thousands of people around the world. Oh, he is listening. So what he has done is unbelievable, and that stream that you were a part of, Cougar, was incredible, because not just the emotion, but no one ever speaks about that. I've never ever spoken to anyone, and I've known people to come out of a coma, but never once has it thought or dawned on me, like the PTSD, like Bob was saying, what happens life after a coma? What do they go through? What do they experience? And what Bob is doing is nigh on short of brilliance. Mate, join the tea. All tea all day long.
I'm tea as well, but Ben makes an exception.
Yeah, I was about to say, unless you're at that coffee house, because that is the world's best. I swear to God, it is the world's best coffee.
I think there's only twice I've had a proper cup of coffee. A really well-made one, and both times I thought, "Oh, I could turn here," but no, tea for me, it's my standard, and not just any tea as well. I really do like to have something like a Darjeeling, or actually that reminds me, the Bottom Duta is one who's on a lot of the Spurs channels. Keeps offering, he'll send me over a fresh packet of Darjeeling.
Yeah, he said he was going to.
That's really nice. I haven't taken him up on it yet, but I'm sure I will do it at some point.
I need to text him. He said he was going to do it. But,
So I can see Bob's put in a comment there, and he's happy for me to share. Okay, so for people that watch that stream or don't know, and Bob was telling me about this obviously as soon as he came out, one of the biggest nightmares he had whilst in that coma was having his kids in the car.
Yeah.
And he had an accident where he totaled it and killed his kids. which when you're in a coma and going through that all the time. So on Friday, Bob actually brought his kids down to London. So Bob, the whole way in that car journey home, had to deal with that nightmare coming back to him.
Yeah.
And obviously was like going through a lot of emotions during that car drive. But thankfully, obviously, as he said, it's been everything. Obviously, thank God he got home. The kids got home. They had a wonderful weekend. But just him saying that I can share that now just shows that little story. When you think about it, you think about all the other people that have been in comas and stuff like that. That is, I can only imagine what he was going through that drive.
I believe I'll be right in saying, I'm sure Bob will correct me if I'm wrong, but it's not just your normal nightmare. When you wake up, usually after a nightmare, you suddenly realise after a few seconds, usually, oh, I just dreamt that. It didn't happen. But these ones are real. They are actual events. They become genuine memories. That scared the hell out of me when he told me that. What a nightmare. Any parent thinking, my God, I've killed my children, and actually feeling all of that emotion every time that memory surfaces. Wow, that hit me like a truck, that one. It's like and as Brian has said, and as Bob did, the whole point on the stream was, why is this a subject that nobody really knows much about? It's really strange. You hear about it, people in all sorts of different things. It's always a big thing about recovering alcoholism, as Brian will know about and I know about as well. But he went through it a lot harder than I did, if that makes sense. But these things get talked about. Dealing with weight issues gets talked about. Dealing with transgenderism and sexuality, these issues now get talked about. They used to be taboo subjects, not anymore. But something like as simple as coming out of a coma, it's simple to say what it is, but nobody talks about what it is. It's what's actually involved in it. Both the physical and the mental side of it. It's just it's the rabbit hole, isn't it? As soon as Bob started talking about it, I thought, wow, this is nothing like I imagined it would be. Because we just see the simple stuff on the TV programs and stuff. Somebody wakes up from a coma and it's like, oh, welcome back. Everything's fine now.
You know what it is as well, Cooper, is what we deal with as a society. If a loved one or a friend comes out of a coma, you're just delighted that they've come out of it. Like, it's like, oh, welcome back. Oh, thank you. Oh, my God, thank God, blah, blah, or whatever you believe. And like, we're so happy to have you, and let's get you back to recovery. Let's do this. Let's do that. No one thinks, what in the world have you just been through? And Bob was in there twice for, I think, the total, correct me, I think it was 13 weeks in total from what I remember, around that sort of time. But there's people that spend months in it. That's taking nothing away from what Bob went through. But if this is what Bob had to experience in that 13-week period, God knows what people that spend months in there have gone through.
It sort of reminds me of when I started prednisolone. For people that don't know what prednisolone is, it's a type of medical steroid. It's a type of medical steroids. I was 11 years old when I started taking this medication, and they warned me, you're going to have horrible nightmares for the next 3 years. And it was every day for 3 years on prednisolone. That's what it does to you. So we need to start talking about these things, because it's like, I thought I was weird for most of my life. It's like, oh, what do you dream about? It's like, I don't want to talk about this stuff, like being stabbed on the regular. That's one of the reasons a lot of people have noticed, mostly due to my just leaving my hand on my leg. My leg shakes constantly, and that's done that since I was 11 years old because of this prednisolone I used to take. It's still going on 10 years later. The medical effects of anxiety and medication that can cause that, it sticks to you for the rest of your life, and you need to start talking about it. Otherwise, it becomes a scar that will open, and unless we can find a way to combat it together, eventually people are going to use it as a weapon to attack you, and we need to go forward together. So we need to bring up our demons, otherwise we cannot fix it. We have to bring up our demons, and we need to be true to ourselves. As going back to being true to ourselves, we need everyone has these problems, and the more we hide it, the worse it gets.
Yeah,
let's-
Aaron's just put a great comment in there.
yeah, cool.
Me and Aaron have spoken about this. Paul Gascoigne has just brought out a video, and I've already downloaded it on YouTube, where he's talking about his career and his demons. And just, Aaron, and just everyone knows, there is talk of me, Bob, and Brian Ireland doing a show on Tottenham on Tour, discussing the whole thing. That, like, we're going to watch it, not watch it live, but I can't not watch it. So we're looking at doing it, and we're going to talk about, obviously, the playing side of Gaza, blah blah blah. But then also, I can relate very much to his addictions, much to his addictions. Obviously, not the gravity that he went to and the circumstances that he went in. Because for me, I didn't have the media attention. I didn't have the world looking at me. But me, Bob, and Brian Ireland plan to do a big show on that. So keep your eyes peeled for that one. But yeah, this Gaza one's going to be hard. I cried at the BBC one. The BBC Two one, I cried my eyes out.
That was a difficult one.
Sorry, Kuv, you're about to say, buddy.
Oh yeah, I was just checking with Bob. It's okay to say about it, but to put things into perspective for people, when we talk about PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, the phrase started to get popularity when we were talking about people coming out of wars. The condition used to be called shell shock in those particular circumstances, and it's all related to the same thing. It's all dealing with these extreme, life-changing, traumatic experiences. Now, the very fact that I can say Bob is now having to go to a PTSD counsellor to help him with this post-coma experience just goes to show how significant that psychological trauma is. The fact that a war veteran is on the same trajectory. The causes are different, of course, but the effects on the human brain are very much the same. As soon as something that distressing becomes real in your mind, it's become a false memory that's so strong you believe it happened. It's the same as going through that. It's like they say, oh, somebody's hurt, somebody's grief is worse than somebody else's. No, it isn't. It's a different cause, but the effect can be exactly the same. And the fact that Bob goes through that, it just goes to show this is no minor issue. It is such a big deal, and there's so many other conditions like it where, as Bob said as well, you go through that the blokiness bit. You just go, now got COVID. I'll be all right. I'll just get in the shower and spend a bit of time in the shower. I'll be all right. Breathe a bit more easily. It'll be fine. Leave it for another day. No, don't. We've got to get out of this habit of putting things off and just going, nah, it's what other people do. He's got it a lot worse than I have. Now, sometimes you've got to just say, look, I'm in that point where I need something myself, because you've got to start looking at it that way. And I think we're starting to get better at talking to each other. Certainly around the Spurs community, on this online community's been fantastic for it. It's something that just needs to keep going. On the conversely, women are superb at talking to each other about all this sort of stuff. They really are. They're a lot more emotionally stable than men are on the whole. Of course, there's always exceptions on both sides, but it's one of their great strengths is they're able to get it all off their chest, go have a little emotional get together, get it all out. Blokes don't do that. We get together, we'll talk about movies, sport, take the piss out of each other for a bit, drinking competition, anything to avoid it all. So it's like an advantage in life to think that the women are doing the right thing.
Yeah,
damn right.
Big up Aaron for his comment. Big up. Yeah, you got to find someone to talk to if you're in a difficult moment. And in this community, especially, if you need someone to talk to, there's always any of us to talk to.
The one thing I have to stress about that, and do you know what? When I first started getting psychiatric treatment, my parents weren't waiting for the NHS. They paid for me to go to the Priory, and it was back in the day, like we're talking mid-90s or early 90s. We're talking it was £160 an hour then. But they're like, fuck the money, we need to sort you out. But what I did is I went there and I pretty much told the doctors what they wanted to hear. Anything to get me out of it, because I wouldn't admit it. it was just like, yeah, what do you want me to say? Like literally, I wouldn't tell them the truth. And if you don't tell them the truth,
I can't help you.
You are just going to be going around in this loop, around and around and around and around. You've got to remember with this, no matter whether it's PTSD, whether it's mental health, whether it's addiction, there's doctor-patient confidentiality. They can't and they won't. The only time they will tell someone is if they think you're going to danger someone or yourself. That's the only time they will break confidentiality, if they have a genuine concern for your life or others. And if you don't, like I say, the way I always say about going for counselling is you have a key, you have a padlock on your heart and your head, and you've got like 1,000 keys. So it could be 100 keys, whatever. And every time you finish the session, you it's like you've got that key and you try and unlock them. And if it doesn't, you throw that key away and you're down to 99 or whatever. And there'll be one day where the key just goes boom, and it opens up. And don't get me wrong, when you go for counselling, it is a very, very, very emotional roller coaster. They really dive in. They really, once they find what they think is the error, they really. But if you don't tell them the truth, that you're getting to the fork in the road and you're sending them down the wrong way, and you'll be, oh, this ain't for me. They're not helping me. They're not doing. If you don't tell them the truth, these people can't help you. And what you might find embarrassing, I used to have to tell them, listen, I have a problem now, and I openly admit it and it's embarrassing. Since I stopped drinking, I've done certain damage to my kidney where there'll be certain times in the day where I'm like, literally, if I don't go to the toilet in 5 seconds, I'm gonna wet myself. It's literally, it's no build up to, oh, I need the toilet. It's like, go to the, and it's embarrassing for me. I had it when I missed Pierre-Emile Højbjerg's goal. Literally, Daniel was saying, stay till half time. It was like 5 minutes to half time or whatever it was. And I was like, I can't, I've got to, and I just pelted it.
Yeah.
But these are you've got to, it was very embarrassing for me to say that back then. Very embarrassing. But now it's like, this is what it is. And if I don't tell someone, how can they help me? How can they address this situation? So you have to, when you say, I'm going to get help, whatever it may be, and we're not even talking mental health, in your life, if you want to get something, you've got to be honest to yourself and honest to the person trying to get you there. Because if you don't, you ain't getting there. Pure and simple.
Yeah. It's one of the things with someone like me with colitis. One of the things I always do, if I go somewhere, the first half an hour, I'm just working out where the toilets are, because you never know with someone that's got issues like that. Like first, if I go to let's say I go to a bar, I've worked out where every single toilet is in the first 10 minutes.
Yep.
Or I've even looked it up. I've spent hours online where the toilets in the bloody restaurant I'm going to, just so I don't have to look like an idiot and ask where the toilet is. It can be incredibly embarrassing for you, but you've got to do it. Otherwise, you end up killing yourself in your brain.
Yep.
You've got to help yourself.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. This took a. I love the twist that this show took. This went down a road I did not see it going in a million years. I've loved it. I've loved it.
But that is the point of the Coffee Company streams. It's just to have a chat. It's just to have a chat, and wherever you go is wherever you go. It's a pace of calmness. Again, it is a safe space for people to talk about what's happening and how you feel, and talk and just improve each other one coffee at a time. And this is a bit of to end that sort of more deeper conversation that we've had. The Coffee Company are in the world are total opposites. But it couldn't get more opposite if you tried. But that's part of the beauty of the streams, isn't it? It's trying to be.
And to bring it back full circle to Tottenham, Bob's just put a breaking news, and I said this when it came with Man City, or when he asked for a transfer. I said no, I haven't asked for a transfer. I don't know what you're talking about. But yeah, this goes back to what we're saying when we're saying about the big boys. When they want their Man City was the one, and 30, they bid 30, and Brian won 50. Oh no, Man City, Chelsea, bang. There you go. We want him, bang. Done by. See you later.
Which means he's going to Barcelona. Cucurella's to Barcelona.
That would be funny.
Great.
That really would.
Big up, Carl. Always check every exit in bars. Blah blah. Yeah. So it's just we are only human.
Correct.
Thank you all so much for joining in the chat. It's very interesting. we've talked about basically everything today. It's crazy, really. But
as Brian said, I like the way it changed to the topic of conversation, because you just look at the comment section and how many people are relating to part of that.
Yeah.
It's that's what it's all about, isn't it? There's
Well,
so
it's
many
really
of us go through. Yeah, it's very unusual to find somebody that hasn't gone through some part of their life.
Yeah.
Where they're suffering a traumatic experience,
Yeah.
and so many of us do not do anything about it when we should be.
Big up, Dab Son. Big up, Dab Son. Yeah.
Well,
So it's been a
when
brilliant.
when you feel comfortable around people, you're talking. That's like what Ben said. One coffee at a time or whatever. It's just that's what it's all about. That's why we started the mental health shows. It's why Bob did what he did. It's why other shows have started doing it. It's what it's all about. I feel like the Jerry Springer. Be good to yourself.
And I was coming on with the intention of turning this into a stream about which superhero looks the most badass.
Iron Man. Always Iron Man for me when it comes to superhero. I fucking love Iron Man.
Compared to Batman.
Mate, that Iron Man.
Mate,
I've always, mate. The first thing I'm doing when I become Iron Man is I'm changing the color of that fucking suit.
Yeah, blue and white.
Do you know which one looks the worst? Is going to be Superman for me.
Yeah.
Underpants outside tights. No,
yeah,
no.
I think
Carl
you've won on
Higgins
that.
won Wonder Woman. Yeah, love her.
Oh, but then again, Catwoman.
Catwoman's great. Owlman is better than Batman. Batman, 1960s Batman is the best.
Iron Man. I'm still sticking with my Iron Man. I love Iron Man.
Ha! Memphis Depay has had his shirt number taken off of him at Barca for Lewandowski. It's always going to happen.
Of course.
Yeah, Superman.
But that's a bit more high profile than Rodin for Perisic, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. But at least Perisic.
High for Lewandowski. Perisic. Can you imagine if Joe Rodin had said, "No, I want this number"? Could you imagine? It'd be like,
if that would have happened, they would have given him number 4. They'd probably have this conversation. You know, instead of giving Skip number 4, they would have given it to Perisic.
I think Perisic
numbers is a sore point, though, isn't it? I mean, Brian, what number did Gaza used to wear?
8, and we know what a certain person. I remember when Justin Edinburgh used to wear the number 3. Yes, so there's big numbers, but yeah, I think with Perisic, I think he asked Rodon, and if Rodon had said no, he said, "Well, I've asked you. Now I'm telling you. Guess what? I'm taking number 14." But yeah, mate, the fact that that man got number 8 for me, that number is kind of like what Manchester United have for 7 because of Gaza and other players that have worn it. That's kind of, I know you got the 10 for Sheringham, Kane, whatever, but that number 8 number for me is sacred at Tottenham Hotspur. And to see who's currently wearing it,
it's
not right.
As much as I like Winksy as a bloke, he does not deserve that number. He's not good enough. Daigle just said 3 with an Irish accent. Nice one. Right. We all know Basuma's taking that number 8. I wouldn't give it to Basuma personally.
Should have given the number 8 to Ndombele, really, because under the 8 you could have had all the pies.
Yeah.
Well, this is the reason. I don't know why Harry Winks didn't take the number 40. He could have had a whole clothing line. He could have done the whole, a bedwear, like literally not all with Tottenham stuff, but literally that company named 40 Winks. He could have made a fortune in like bedroom apparel and everything like that. He could have done an absolute. I don't know why he didn't take the number.
And I don't know. He should have, because that was a what's it called? That was a total miss hit from him. Yes, numbers do get retired by clubs. For example, the number 26 will not be given to anyone. I'm of the personal belief you should not retire the 1 to 11. The 1 to 11 should never be retired. Like even for someone like Maldini is having his number 3 retired, unless a member of his family wants that number. That for me, that Francesco Totti is number 10.
I think that's happened as well with Maradona at Napoli, isn't it? Or one of his clubs. So there's a few, and I think, like I said, Totti, I think Batistuta at Fiorentina's number was retired. But yeah, it's like the number 9 for Newcastle. That was what Shearer wanted. That he asked Ferdinand for that number as soon as he came. There are certain numbers that, but yeah, I would love. I'm very happy that no one will wear 26.
Yeah,
I'm very very happy because that is big shoes. That is a huge
yeah,
defect. That night, that 26, and it should have been for number 8.
Yeah.
Mate, do you know what? Who knows? They could. I don't see him doing it. 8 exactly. 8 for Jimmy Greaves, as Ian Ferguson said as well. You know, what I mean, there's Gaza, and you got Greavesy, Gaza, Winks. I know there's obviously been a lot of people in between. I could honestly see if they've done it for 26, I could see number 10 being retired once Harry goes. I really can. I really can.
We don't do that really for big numbers. We've never have done it. Otherwise,
Yeah, but we've done it for the King.
For Greaves, for
yeah, but we've only if we only started doing it for Ledley, there's no way if you do it for Ledley. I know 10 is a big number, like you said, the 1 to 11.
10 is too big a number at Tottenham. So Hoddle had it, Greaves had it.
Yeah.
Oh, what about 23 now? That's getting a bit tainted, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Not only Ericsson, but there was a certain Judas used to wear 23 as well.
Yeah, but you know what? I think if I remember right, and I loved this player, Christian Ziege wore number 23.
Yeah.
And I loved Christian Ziege.
I
loved him.
But you can have it.
But you're right. That number 20. Someone has got it now, haven't they?
It was Burgoyne, wasn't it?
That's right.
It was Bergvall. I don't know who's got it now. Who would you give the number 8 to? I wouldn't give it to anyone until there's a player that deserves that number 8 shirt.
Milinkovic-Savic.
There we go. Yeah. Exactly what I'm thinking.
Yeah, a proper. You've got to be class to wear that shirt. Maybe.
Dear Mr. Levy, we need Milinkovic-Savic to fill the number 8 shirt.
Yeah, I would email him, but I'm blocked.
Yeah.
You surprise me.
Have retired property numbers. But it's football. Football's different because it's the 1 to 11. Levy won't retire number 10. It costs more money for 2 digits. Yeah.
Do you know what? I actually don't think it does anymore, does it? I think they've done it all as a standard. Because when Aaron's talking, when I used to get 9 Anderton, it used to be 75. Sorry, it was £3 for a single number, £5 for a double, and 75p per letter.
Yeah.
But when I used to get 5 for Tongan on every single shirt, it was just one flat fee. It would cost me the same as getting a player with like Rose. 3 rows would cost me the same.
That's the way it should be, isn't it? That's the way it should be. Gary and Mabbott, number 6 should be. I don't believe in retiring the first. If a player has made a number that wasn't a number into a number, that's when it should be retired. Like number 26 for Ledley King.
Yeah, I get that.
For Eusebio. Big numbers that weren't something but were made something by a player. 14 for Johan Cruyff.
I get that. Do you know what? I get that.
Yeah.
That with what you just said there, Ben, that kind of takes me away from saying number 10 for Harry Kane. I think you're right. Number 10 has already been that number's made in Tottenham folklore. Number 8 with Greaves and Gaza. But yeah, if let's just say a number player comes in and let's just pick a number. Let's say number 31.
Yeah.
And it ended up absolutely tearing it up and going down in Spurs folklore. Then you retire it.
Yeah, it's just like
I'm with you on that.
I haven't bought a top since Joel was fired.
No, of course not, man. Well, same here, mate. Well, no, not same here because I've had Vertonghen. What we're talking about, but mate, that was back in the old days where people used to. That's why I think Raw Fox had so many shirt numbers because it was the most cheapest one.
Wing should wear -8 for his below match performance.
That's what we should.
To end the stream before we say, I've basically, because I don't want to give Levy any more money to buy a shirt, so I'm honouring my agreement not to buy a beer in the stadium and not to buy shirts in the stadium, as per Rez and per Brian and a lot of the other people that are doing it. But admittedly, I've been like, every time someone like Savas doing a shirt giveaway, I'm like, first one, give me a shirt. But then does that count? Because still money has gone in your name.
That's the thing. That's why when I went into the pub, like when we were at the bar, when we were going to Spurs, Ben, I wouldn't let anyone buy me a drink. I won't buy a drink in there. I won't let people buy me a drink. It's why when I got my tickets, I was giving them, but that's what it's become. Do you know what the next level was for me with the Levy out protest? If it carried on and if we hadn't got and it got bigger, was instead of not buying shirts, it was to buy. I would love it like if loads of people had got into the stadium wearing shirts from before Levy came.
Yeah.
So if you went on all these sports websites or whatever and got any kit, whether it's Sugar Days, Scholar Days, back in the history, and no one wearing Nike tops.
Yeah.
Or Under Armour, whatever. Just see like the Gaza shirts or the Dave
Holston.
Yeah, just any shirt because you can get these all at DHgate. You can get them at the I've got JJB Sports and all the websites where you can buy kits from any time frame. That was what I wanted to try and get organised next. That people went in wearing wearing Spurs tops, but nothing since Levy came. That was the next move I was making.
How's talking of shirt numbers? How's this for a plan? Sorry, Ben's trying to end the stream. We're just keeping him going. But how's this for a plan? We instead of just having the shirt number, have that sort of barcode behind it, like you know when you scan in something on your phone.
Yeah.
So if you don't know who a player is, scan it in. It'll just come up with his bio and stuff.
I think there you go. You need to trademark it. Trademark it. That's Kuva's idea. No one.
And I was also going to say, and out of all the numbers, there's only 199.
Yeah.
But there isn't because I think there was an Antonio Cassano who used to play for Milan.
There's a
You probably know him.
There's a load of 99.
Big up, Bobby.
Ronaldo won 99 at Inter, didn't he? From what I remember.
Oh, you mean Brazilian R9?
R9. Yeah.
I think I do recall seeing a few people with like very bizarre shirts. At 99, I do recall seeing a couple of times.
If Ronaldo number 9 wore 99, then I'm made.
Oh,
what a player!
Imagine, oh, mate, the best. That guy was incredible.
Yeah. Big up Bobby K. Bobby K is all spending all the things. Is as usual. If you do wish to tip, as Bobby K shared the link, it's absolutely not essential. But if you want to support the stream, preferably go and support Bob instead of supporting me. If you want to support me, buy my coffee, come and get a drink, and then let's have a chat. But if you wish to donate to the stream, there's the link.
I have to say, is Bobby K Nightbot?
No.
Okay, it's still the banker from Deal or No Deal, and nobody will know who he is.
Bobby's just controlling Nightbot at the moment.
Okay.
Bill Cisse wore number 99. I don't know where he wore it. But on that note, Brian, what's happening on Tottenham on tour this week?
A lot is happening on Tottenham on tour this week. There should be a video out either later. So there's there's 3 things to look forward to. So one of them is obviously Spurs have just been in a beautiful country by the name of Israel, and we've got exclusive footage that will be put towards in a video and released as a kind of a vlog and interview with the person that did it for us. Not going to say any names. There's a second video coming out because people will know I announced I had to get a tattoo because I lost a bet with Brian Ireland. I'm not going to show the tattoo because obviously that'll take away from the video. That's coming out.
Yeah.
And something we're very, very proud of is on Wednesday making their official YouTube debut. And we're looking forward to this. It's going to be a hell of a lot of fun. Is going to be the Spurs song sheets from Twitter. And not only are we going to talk to them about everything Spurs, like the preview of the season coming up, what do we think's been going to happen, what do we think of the summer, not only are we going to talk about their Spurs journeys, not only are we going to talk about Spurs song sheets, how they formed and whatever, you guys are going to be treated to a concert from them, live from their studio. And with that concert, they are releasing 1 or 2 songs that they haven't even put on Twitter yet, ready for the new season. So it's going to be a lot of fun and a good sing-song at the end. And there's just lots of things coming from Tottenham on tour this summer, like this season. So everyone get ready. If you haven't subscribe if you can. I promise you this season, you're not going to be disappointed by what's going on at Tottenham on tour.
Great stuff. And Mr. Kuva, who are you going to big up this week? The sun is shining on my camera.
I've got to give a big shout out to Tottenham away for tonight because I've been invited on again. Seems to be a regular thing. That Iggy just tells me I'm on. Just that's it, no choice. So it's become a bit of a comedy thing now. Otherwise, I'm just gonna a little shout out to some of the littler channels like Chris, who does the I've forgotten the name of his Spurs.
The Magic Channel.
The Magic Channel. That's the one I was going to give a big up because I love this thing. The sort of spring off shows, like you got your coffee shop, Chris doing the Magic Channel, Brad Matthews doing the Blue Sofa songs. Just a little bit of support for fledgling channels trying to make a little bit of a way now, and I think it's good to see a bit of variety. Because we're all talking about the same things over and over on most channels, aren't we?
Yeah.
So there we go. And otherwise, always a big up to Bob Spur because for me, it's and Shelfside Spurs this week as well, I believe.
Shelfside Spurs is back.
Really looking forward to that because I miss talking more bollocks on screens instead of just football. Football week. Don't want to know.
Well,
talking about irrelevant stuff, then I'm all for it.
Yeah, so brilliant. So
and possibly might be doing a little something with Bobby K.
Oh, big up the Three Spurs.
Oops.
always.
I might not have been allowed to say that. Yeah, Bobby K. We've been talking about it for a little while. Just doing a little
Cougar exclusive for you.
Drop in. Now we're talking.
Yeah.
Simba.
Proper cat that. You'll just spread that all over your face, Brian.
Oh no, thank you. What flavour has he got this time? Chicken and wait a minute, tuna and chicken.
No, you really don't want that all over your face. Anybody that's owned a cat will tell you what a cat's tongue is like. They're little barbs in their tongue. It's really rough.
Yeah.
Nasty stuff. And on that note, it's time to end the stream. We'll be back tomorrow at 2 p.m. where I don't know what we're going to talk about.
Okay.
Probably, I don't know, old Ford Escorts. I don't know, something. We'll find something to talk about. But we'll be back tomorrow then. I might be joined by guests. Who knows? You'll find out. Big up everyone that joined, everyone that's liked the stream. Thank you all for joining.
Big up Simba.
Yeah, big up the star. Big up the stars.
Big up the NHS.
Big up
and
the
as
NHS.
always, if you smell what the cough is brewing. Goodbye, everyone. Cheers.
Ta-da.